coin collectors out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to take a look at two coins that have this almost the same exact value, and that is the United States quarter and the United Kingdom 20p or 20 pence coin. So the United States quarter, of course, is worth 1/4 of a dollar or 25 cents, and the 20 pence or 20p coin is worth 1/5 of a dollar or 20 pence. Now, at today's exchange rate, we actually have an almost exact equality. So when looking up the exchange rate today, the 20p coin is worth 0.249895 US dollars. So essentially within 1/10,000th of a quarter. This one is worth within 1/10,000th of a US quarter. What we thought we would do is take a look at the 1987 versions of these. And as you can see, we have 3 US quarters. The D for Denver. You can see the D here. The S for San Francisco, and the P for Philadelphia. And for the 20 pence coin, we just have the 1 because they do not have mint marks on them. But there are some very interesting details for the 20 pence coin. So why don't we start with that? The 20 pence coin from Great Britain is a product of decimalization. They did not have a 20 pence coin in Great Britain prior to 1971's decimalization. This particular coin is 1987 20 pence coin, and it has the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth on it. It says Elizabeth the Second on the top, DG Reg FD here, by the grace of God, Queen and Defender of the Faith, or Regina. And in this one, she's wearing the George IV state diadem, and you can see the cross and the fleur-de-lis and as it comes up through. Now this coin has an interesting shape. It's an equilateral curved heptagon. You can see it's kind of rounded. It's a copper nickel coin, and it weighs 5 grams, 21 millimeters in diameter and 1.7 millimeters in thickness. When we get to the back, you can see just the detail that's gone into this engraving. Now this particular engraving, the front is the Raphael David McLoof portrait of Queen Elizabeth, and the back is the William Maving Gardner engraving. It says 20 actually set in to the coin, pence set into the coin. This crown actually comes right into the coin itself also. 19 on one side of the crown, 87 on the other. This is a crowned Tudor rose, and Tudor family is what Queen Elizabeth is from. And here's the William Maving Gardner initials, W here for William, and G here for Gardner. William Maving Gardner, and that's why you have a W and a G. This is not a C, it's a G. And then down here we see the thorns and the leaves of the rose, and then the 20s in set in a very cool way. It is underneath here and it's over here. So this particular coin in 1987, they made a mess of them. In 1987, they made 137.5 million 20p coins. This was the 3rd year they made them, this particular version of the coin. They made this coin from 1985 to 1997 with the 3rd portrait on it. Now, let's look on to the US coins. For the US coins, we have 3 different mints in the United States. We have the Philadelphia Mint, which by 1987 had a P. Many of the years prior to that, there's no mark on the US coin for Philadelphia, but this is a year they did have the P, and you can see that right there behind George Washington. Has George Washington facing to the left. These are often called Washington quarters. It says liberty above his head, in God we trust under his chin, 1987, the year down here. Now this quarter has been made for a long, long time, but until 1965 it was made of silver. In 1965 they came out with this copper nickel clad coin, and if you look at it from the side, you can actually see the copper in there. So the cladding of the copper nickel on top is the silvery part, and the brown part is the copper core. Has a reeded rim. It is round, unlike the heptagon of the 20p. And then on the back, we have uh, what is called the eagle or war eagle. Um, and it sits there. It says United States of America at the top, e pluribus unum right above its head, has its wings spread. It's holding a sheaf of arrows, and you can kind of see the individual arrows here. There's the feathers on this side, the head of the arrow on this side. Down here underneath is an olive uh, branch or olive wreath. So we have the war and you have the peace here. And then down here at the very bottom it says $quarter. No place on the United States 25-cent coin does it say 25 cents anywhere. These are both, the front and back are engravings from John Flanagan. Now, so that's the Philadelphia Mint. The next mint is the Denver Mint, and you can see this has a D here. We don't need to go over the whole coin, but I just wanted you to see the different mint marks on here. So D here for Denver, P here for Philadelphia. In 1987, they made a lot of these coins also. They made 656 million for the Denver Mint and 582.5 million for the Philadelphia Mint. So between these two, they made about almost 1.25 or 1.25 billion of these two coins were produced. They're not worth, these, I just get these from my change, right? So when you go to the store and buy something, or when you used to be able to go to the store and buy something and get change back, this was what you would get back. And so they are of no value really. They're worth 25 cents US. And the final one we have here, of course, is this one. And this is the S mint mark for San Francisco. So we have Denver, San Francisco, and Philadelphia. It says Liberty at the top, In God We Trust here, 1987. And you can see how this is just a totally different coin. And that's because but look at this though. It has a copper core. So some of you say, well, that's the San Francisco silver mint set version, and it's not. They didn't have silver mint sets. They did not have those in 1987. They didn't bring them back again until 1992, with the exception of the bicentennial silver mint set. So from 1965 to 1991, they did not have silver U.S. quarters except in 76 for the bicentennial silver mint set. So this is a copper nickel clad copper, and when we get to the back, you can really see the eagle on this one. You can see all the kind of feathers on the body. You can see how they kind of overlap going through here. You can see his eye. You can see how sharp his beak is. You can see the little top of the head, this little tuft of hair. And these, you can really see the arrows now. You can see the individual arrows, and you can actually see a ribbon that ties across the sheaf of arrows. And then we get down to the bottom, you see this kind of fancy Q, and just a much. So if you get a chance to get a proof version, go ahead and get it. This coin here is worth about $3 US, even though it's not silver, because you could only get it in the mint set. However, in terms of rarity, it's not very rare at all. They made more of the 1987 mint set quarters than any other year. So in 1987, for the San Francisco, they made 4.25 million or 4.2 million. I don't think they ever hit 4 million any other year for mint set quarters. Most years it was between 2.7 million and 3.2 million. So this is not a rare coin. It's a nice coin. And it is just a beauty the way that they do the two different, essentially buff this really fine, and then they leave this up here to kind of almost a pewter style here. So there's the S, there's the P, there's the D, and finally we have the 20p. Now, of course, the S is worth much more than the 20p. And the 20p coin itself, at this point in time, is not worth much more than 20p. You can still use this coin. It has not been demonetized. And so if you want to buy a 20p coin in Britain, it costs you about a quarter US or 20p. And in fact, I think I got this one of my change this summer in Britain. I would love to go back to Britain again, and I'm hoping that, or Britain, I call it Britain, the United Kingdom again, in London especially, but I'm not sure when we're going to be able to go and travel there and get any more coins. So let's be happy with the ones we have right now. All right, so these coins all have the same value, 25 cents US, 20p in the United Kingdom. Have a great day from the from DC Coin World International Coin Channel, and we'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comment section.